Hello, hello, and welcome to this new moon session. How are you doing? I hope you liked the intro. So I was doing an intro on the Awaken Lippy show last year, and I thought, bring back the intro. It's kind of nice to have a little countdown. So how are you doing? Pop me a comment below, say hello. I'd love to hear from you. Please do click if you're on Facebook. I'm streaming on YouTube and Facebook, but if you click on Facebook, on the link in the description, I'll be able to see who you are because it's very... it doesn't let you. Hey Shah, hey Shah. So yes, so we're going to have a little session today, again using the new moon energies. And as you know, I don't go into the astrological side of it. There are beautiful beings out there that do that much better than me, but I like to use the energies to set intentions, to release things. And why not use these energies? So let me know how you're doing. Hey Lindy, hello. So yes, keep the comments below. If there's any questions or anything you want to, as I'm going, feel free to just keep them coming and I'll check back. So I'm excited as well, and I'm streaming to YouTube at the same time, so hopefully the connection is good. So I don't really plan these sessions, so obviously I got very inspired to do it. So I've pulled a few cards just as a very kind of loose guide of what they and I want to kind of share with you today. But as you can see, the focus is on bringing your dreams and desires into your reality, and it's a perfect day to do it, perfect time to do it. Of course, you can do this anytime. Like I always say, it does not have to be a new moon. Do this anytime, but let's just use the energy because we're all focusing in on the same kind of way. So first of all, I never plan these, so I think I'll just kind of take you through some of these cards, these messages. I'll channel as we go, we'll interact, and then we'll just kind of see what we co-create, because that's kind of how it happens. And then we'll see if we're going to channel some messages through. We'll see what where the conversation goes. So first of all, hello Wisteria. I can see you. Yes, I can see it's you. Yeah. You've given permission, so yeah, I can see you. Thank you. Perfect. So first of all, I want to ask you, just as because I'm going to talk you through kind of how to do this, right? How can we start to bring our dreams and desires, and also why the hell we should, and also for you to receive almost like a remembrance, a permission, an activation, whatever it is you need to remind your soul, because your soul already knows, remind you that you do get to create. So I'm aware that there's a lot of things going on in the world right now, whatever you're tuning into or not tuning into, depending on the people that you're hanging about with, who's in your kind of immediate circle, you might be up against a bit of a battle of, God, who are you to create amazingness in your life when the world is ... And I want to start by sharing with you that it is absolutely important. One of the most important things that we can be doing with our energy is focusing on what it is we're here to create and bringing those ideas in, because this is how we literally shift the energy in this world. And I really genuinely mean it when I say that. If we're all focusing on our lives as well as whatever else is going on, and we're creating what it is that we know that we came here to create, or we have a feeling that maybe we came here to create, if we actually do that, this is the energy that creates an entirely different world. And I really believe that, and I'm dedicating my entire life to this. You know, if you hear me speak 10 years from now, I will be saying the same thing, maybe in different forms, but I fully believe that. And I know that many of you tuning in to this, to my groups, to my community, and we're connected, or you're drawn to this right now, we've never connected before. You are the same, right? Most likely you are the same, or you either know that you are, or you have a little nudge or feeling that you might be, or some of you might even doubt that you are, and yet here you are tuning into a message like this. So I want you to know that there is a reason for that, because I know that there are some people in this group. I'm not going to name you like individually, but I feel and sense the energies in this group, and there are some of you that feel like you like to be around this energy, but you're not fully connected into that you are one of these people. And your soul has brought you into this for a reason. So let's start the comments, and let's just start the conversation before I get into these cards of what is it that you are wanting to bring into your reality right now. Let's just have some energy flowing towards it. So pop in the comments below and I'll share some of mine. But what are you bringing in? What are you creating, or what are you wanting to create, or what are your dreams and desires? Share as much as you want. Share one word, whatever you want to share. But I know that in this community we have a mixture of people who are doing similar work to me. You're in the sort of helping, healing aspects. You're creating businesses. Maybe you're working on your own spiritual growth. You're bringing that in. Maybe you're strengthening your relationships, or you're working on your health and fitness. You're creating products, writing books. There are so many different ways. Maybe you're going through an amazing healing journey right now, and you are really changing your reality that way. So I'd love to hear. So pop them in the comments. And also if you're watching the replay, absolutely share, because I will always check back, and I love to hear. It's like my favorite thing to hear from people as to what they're creating or what you would like. And I also invite you, if you're not commenting here and you're just listening, for you to really just answer that question yourself right here, right now, in this moment. What would you like to bring into your life? And what about if and the way I like to do this is look at it in two ways. One is the bigger picture, like that can get very expansive depending on your energy. So I like to kind of see bigger picture in my life as far as I can see it. I know that will change, but I like to kind of have this bigger overriding kind of view of, oh, I'd love to have this kind of life over here. I kind of see it, sense it, feel it. Without the planning though, without the kind of 5-year, 10-year plan, because I used to do that, not so much now. But also I want to ask you, and let's get really super focused in this session, because it's a great chance to do it. What would you like to call into your reality over the next 30 days? So let's just kind of get really specific, because you might have just a piece of the bigger picture. And I want to help you just break it down a little bit. We're going to get into all the kind of energy stuff, but let's start practical. Let's break it down a little bit. And what would be a beautiful intention for your next 30 days? Because 30 days is 30 days. A lot can change in 30 days, but 30 days is also enough that you can see. It's not too overwhelming. And it doesn't mean you have to transform your entire life in 30 days, but you could absolutely make an impact, right? So one of mine, so I'll share with you right now. So one of mine is my book. So I haven't really shared much about it out there, but I've been wanting to write a book forever. Getting lots of nudges now. I'm really channeling this book through now, and it makes sense as to why I hadn't done it before. I'm now channeling it through. It scares me to write this book. It excites me to bring this book into the world, but I also have got very overloaded, and I've got caught in my own beliefs and hang-ups, and I don't want to look over here and write about this, and all of these things that come up, and I'm always dealing with them. But I've absolutely committed, and I've got myself back onto connecting back into the book, because this is the thing I want to create. So even though I've still got lots of plans in the business, you know, offering services, doing this, all the things that come through as always. But for me, the next 30 days, let's say the whole month of March, I really want to, by the end of the month, hopefully have completed the first, like the draft, absolutely have it completed, or if not, be very, very close, because I'm not going to rush it just for the sake of hitting that deadline, but really, really getting momentum on it. So that's my one, and that's doable, but it stretches me enough, right? So I want to bring that into my reality, because I want this book to be in the world. I want it to exist. So I'd love to hear any of yours. So I want calmness. Nice. Want the bullying to stop. Need coping mechanisms, strength and support. Okay, perfect. Sorry, not in a good place. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And it's absolutely fine. As you know, you can bring whatever you want here. Absolutely. Yeah, no, this is good. And you know why that's so powerful is that you've got clarity over what it is that you now want, right? even if you don't know how. I'm gonna kind of talk you through like ways to start to approach it. But yeah, you're saying that you've drawn a line. And this is another thing, and this is a great example, because it's not always about doing an action step like I've just shared mine. That's kind of a practical thing, but often it's the inner stuff, right? It's like you want coping mechanisms, you want this part of your existence to shift and change. So as you're speaking it, breathe that in, really allow yourself. You've declared it now, and I love that. Thank you. Okay, another comment: intention for the next 30 days, get through it. Okay, yes. So again, it's like, get through it, right? Whatever it is, that's okay. Get through it, right? So I just want to check with you, lovely soul. So the get through it, just to double check that the get through it energy feels good to you, right? And I say that because in the past I would have had some of that, like, let me do it, but I would have been kind of doing it in an overriding way. Maybe you're not, but I just want to just throw that out there. So just making sure that, yeah, I love that fire of get through it. But again, exactly as previous lovely soul said about having support as well, making sure you're supporting yourself through it, right? So you can get through it, but feel like empowered but supported as well. So it's not all on you, right? Remember. Okay, I love that. So keep the comments coming if there's anything else anyone wants to share. So yeah, so what it's like, I love these variations, right? Whatever we're looking at bringing in, you get to create your reality. And reminder, and I know we talk about this a lot, but it's never not important to share, everything about our lives always starts from inside of us. So bringing whatever it is we desire, whether it's to let go of something or bring, oh, were they both from you, Shah? Oh yeah, I couldn't see the name. Yeah, I can see you now. Yes. Okay, cool. That's fine. So just get through it. Yeah, same sort of thing. Okay, perfect. Yeah, whatever you're wanting to bring in, right? Your desires, whether it's you want something, you want to let go of something, you want to create something new, you want to shift or transform, and you want to bring it into your reality, it always starts with the internal, the inner. Nothing of any meaning or significance ever just, it's even the chair, you know, that you're sitting on had to come from someone's intention, right? It had to come from thought. So the most important thing is often, first of all, is, you know, making the decision. So I want to commend all of you watching now and replay for making a decision, because do you know how many people don't even get to that point? We have a world full of people, right? I'm going to get all ranty now, but I'll try not to. We have a world full of people just on this treadmill. And that's okay. I used to be one of them. I used to be on the treadmill. But we have a whole world full of people who are just waking up, having breakfast, going to work, paying the bills, you know, switching their TV on when they come in, having a few glasses of wine, going to bed, getting up, exhausted, kids, dogs, shopping, groceries, chores. Maybe, and if that's your life right now, that's okay, because you're here and you're recognizing you want more. That's okay. And I live that life as well, so I'm not judging it. But it's like a lot of people, when they go through that, it's like being on a hamster wheel. And a lot of people don't even give themselves permission to even consider that there is an alternative. So every one of you watching here and on the replay, even if you find this 3 months from now and you're watching 3 months from now or a year from now, you've made your way to this. And so you're someone who is very much here and wanting to create their own reality. So that already you've ticked like a giant tick on this amazing energetic list, right? Because so many people, it's sad, but many people don't even make that decision. So it's giving yourself permission is the first thing. Second thing is clarity, getting really specific. So that's why I started this asking you the question, because you cannot ask this question enough. I think I ask myself questions like daily. What do I want? What is it? Like a journal, right? What do you want? What are you bringing in? What do you need to let go of? What are you stepping into? How are you expanding? What have you had enough of? I'm always asking myself questions. And every time I do, I'm shifting again. And I'm embedding inside of me what I truly, truly want. So even what I'm doing now, right? It looks like, oh, I'm doing a live stream. I'm streaming to 2 places. I had a little countdown at the beginning. And it's like all these kind of like little things I've kind of practiced and brought in. But even this space now, I created from a thought that came from years ago when I decided, you know, I don't think I'm going to go back and do my legal job. I think I'm going to do something else, right? And that started with a decision. And then it started with giving myself permission. Maybe you don't have to go back and be a lawyer just because you've spent a decade doing it, training, being in that energy, just because all your friends and family will think you're crazy for giving that up, right? So it is so courageous when you give yourself permission. So I just want you to acknowledge that, really acknowledge that you've given yourself permission, or you are giving yourself permission, or you're about to, because this is to be honored. And this is not coming from nowhere. So I was going to kind of talk you through these like little they're kind of like prompts really, and I'll just channel through whatever comes through. But the first bit really to help bring your dreams and desires into your reality is to create space. So this is what we're doing now. This is what we're doing in this session. This is what you can be doing each day when you have this kind of space for yourself, right? You can't make decisions about what do you want to bring in if you don't create space. And this is what I was talking about. This is the thing that the people don't have this if they're the ones that are on this hamster wheel. They don't tune in, they don't check in. So one of the ways is to, if you don't already, give yourself daily, really do it, daily space, even if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, right? You always have 5 minutes to just sit and close your eyes or keep your eyes open and breathe and just notice how you feel in your life. Because you know why? Sometimes we just have to ask ourselves, do we feel happy? Are we happy with what we've got? Just ask yourself that right now. Are you happy with what you've got? And it's okay if you're not. In fact, it is absolutely okay if you're not. And sometimes we can have a little bit of a guilt trip around expressing that. So I want to just kind of open the door on that if any of you need this, to go, it is okay when you've created space and you've checked in. Maybe you're at a place where you're really in a great place and you're just here for expansion and continuing. Great, because I know how that feels. It's wonderful. But maybe you're also at a place where you're really actually quite frustrated and you're not liking certain aspects. This is happening a lot for people right now because we are kind of letting go of the old structures, as I've spoken about a lot. And when that happens, we can get a really kind of uncomfortable sort of, like almost a lot of tension in the body. It's like we're trying to shed this skin, this layer. It doesn't belong to us anymore. We don't know where the hell we're going with it yet. So it's okay. And I want to just feel the need right now for this to kind of come through to say, you don't have to always, this is like a bit controversial, maybe. You don't always have to express gratitude, right? Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices. I absolutely stand by it. I think it's an amazing practice when done in alignment. But what I see a lot of people do is they're practicing gratitude, right? They're going, okay, so thank God I'm in a part of the world where we're not being bombed. Thank God I'm not, homeless, or, I'm grateful for everything. I should be grateful for my home and grateful for my sofa and grateful to be in this country. And all of that's wonderful. Like, yes, we're grateful for all that. But if you're doing that and you're masking over the real truth of you, where you're actually want to kind of scream and cry and say, I absolutely am dissatisfied with this part of my life. In fact, I've had enough of it. That is incredibly powerful. And sometimes in this kind of spiritual circles and personal development worlds, there's not much space for that, right? We're taught like we've got to be so grateful for everything and feel amazing. But what if you don't? You might have a day where you don't feel grateful. You've had enough. It's like you're up to here and you just need to change something now. So if that's you, or if that will be you at some point, or it has been you, know that that is perfect. Hi, Izzy. Thank you for sharing this message. You're welcome. You're so welcome. My pleasure. Because I feel like there's a lot of guilt tripping going on, right, around, but be grateful for everything that you have. And yes, I'm very grateful for things. But what I do is I get really stroppy in my life. The more aligned you get, the more you start to live in a way that your soul is speaking to you, the more your tolerance for bullshit is lower. And I think that's the best thing, because in the past my tolerance was really super high. I used to put up with everything. So allow yourself, right, to feel whatever the hell you feel. So in your journal, you can write out, I rant and swear and everything. It's like, I'm so sick of this. I've had enough of this. So a little journal prompt, maybe, what is it that you have had enough of? What are you no longer available for, right? Allow yourself that, because that's another way of trying to, once you know that, it's a lot easier to identify, well, what do you want to bring in then, right? So as you lovely lady said, Shah, you want calmness. You've had enough, right? Yeah. Does not showing gratitude risk you getting into the victim mentality, though? That's a good question. So I'm not saying not to show gratitude at all, like throw it all out the window, because of course there are going to be things that you're grateful for, right? Just naturally, without even trying, you're just grateful for. I think it's empowering to be able to say, I'm not happy about, and the way I see it. And so tune in, see what it feels like for you. If it feels disempowering, then maybe that isn't the way for you right now, or anyone. But the way I see it is by saying, do you know what? I'm not going to be, I'm going to use my own example, right? So let's say like a previous experience, right? So say I'm in the company of someone who is very abusive, right? Very like telling me what to do. And let's say I'm into the gratitude practice, and then I'm sort of saying, okay, so even though he's telling me what to do and he's treating me in this way, I'm going to be grateful that, someone is there in my life, and I'm grateful that I'm not alone. So that would be maybe a way of being grateful, but that would be very disempowering, because it would just be allowing me to perpetuate really staying in the victim of, this is what I've got. But imagine then if I said, do you know what, I'm not expressing gratitude in this area. I've reached my limit. I'm recognizing that this is not okay. This is not how I get to be treated. I don't enjoy this energy. I don't like this anymore, right? Apply this to any area. It could be you've had enough of working that job that you're like every day you're dragging yourself in, and you could say, I'm grateful for having a job. I'm grateful I can pay my rent. I'm grateful. Okay, great. But then maybe there's a power that comes from saying, do you know, I don't want to be grateful for this. I don't like this anymore. I'm setting a boundary. I'm declaring it. I've had enough. I've reached my limit. Line in the sand moment. And that actually is the empowerment piece that a lot of people, especially good-hearted, kind, gentle, caring souls, that most of you are, right? That many of you are. Sometimes we have a problem with that. So I don't think, makes sense. Yeah, good. Because it's, the victim mentality is more, for me anyway, it feels more like, woe is me, this has happened. Because also that's important to acknowledge, this has happened, this is awful. But the victim mentality would say, oh my God, this has happened and there's nothing I can do about it. And why does this always happen to me? And I'm just stuck, and that person controls me, that thing controls me. Like, there's nothing I can do. I'm powerless. That can be a victim mentality, but I'm saying that very carefully, because there's always a lot more to it. So I don't like to just label it, but it's more empowered, isn't it, to sort of, and I've said that because I've been in that victim mentality. So I'm not judging when I say it. I'm saying, like, I've definitely done that. Why doesn't anything work out for me? And it's like, okay, but what have I actually done to honor what I'm saying, right? To honor what I feel, and how have I tried to support myself through it? So there's always something that we can do. So that's a whole other subject, but I hope that makes sense. So it's like, create the space, and by creating the space, you get to tune into what is it that you want. Bring in those dreams, desires. It's only when you get to daydream, right, that you suddenly think, oh, I'd love to do this. And then you notice that niggle comes back. And then you notice, God, that kind of is a theme. It keeps coming back, right? If you're always on, you won't get that space to just breathe and work out how you think, how you feel, what is going on internally for you. And we need that. That's like number one, absolutely number one. So I love how I've just pulled these cards, but they're kind of telling a story. And I just pulled them randomly. So then the second one I pulled was insight. So this one comes up a lot. I've pulled this one definitely in this group before. Insight. So once you've created space, this is where your insights get to come in. Imagine you being this being of light, and you're allowing in. So see, like the flow of the energy in, you're allowing, like you're pulling in and allowing in these insights, these ideas, these nudges, these dreams, these desires, these visions. They come from somewhere to you. You receive them. So this is where we get to, rather than let me think about what I want to create in my reality from my head, let's create space and allow it to come to you, right? So I've had a lot of things over the years where it was like a niggle at me. Like I talked about this loads of times before, but when I started on the social media, I got the insight and the nudge to do videos. And that was so crazy for me at that time. It was so not who I was. Like it seems normal because you guys know me now, doing live streams and videos like every week. But in 2015, or 2014, whenever it was, to have those insights was really like, that wasn't coming from my head because I didn't actually even want to do it. My ego was like, I don't want to do it. But my soul was nudging me saying, no, you want to be seen and heard and express. And this is part of your soul mission. This is part of your plan that you had, right? So that kind of nudge. Sometimes you get that nudge. You've got to leave this situation or change something or start to desire more now. You start getting like little signs, little signals. So it's receiving. So once you understand that you aren't just doing it yourself, once you open and create space, you can absolutely allow these insights to come in. Because imagine you've got this, it's like you've got this map inside of you, the soul blueprint, that you came into this lifetime with this blueprint, and it had like, almost imagine it's got all this, like all these instructions written on your soul blueprint. You have free will, you can create whatever you want, but it's got these parts of your life that you absolutely came here to experience. So when you get these nudges and these wanderings, or you see something in someone else that you wish that you had, that is a good one. That's a great way to get an insight. You know, if you start to scroll through social media, observe other people, you might even get a little pang of envy or like sadness, or it doesn't matter, whatever it is. But what it is a sign that says, oh, I would love that, right? I used to scroll through sometimes and see someone in their amazing relationship. This was like when I was completely on my own, and I had a long time on my own. I was been more on my own than not in my life. And I used to look sometimes and think, oh my God, I'd love that relationship. That was a sign that I was supposed to have that. And I have that now. I'm married and happily married. So it's you start to see things. You know, I'd see someone create this event in their business, and I would get that recognition of like, God, I really love that. Oh, I wish I could do that. Even if my mind was like, no, you can't, no, you can't. But your desire, that feeling that you get, right? Those are your insights. Those are your nudges. So I really want to encourage you to start to pay attention. Some of you listening absolutely know what you're doing, like as in you've got clarity already, in which case then listen for the insights of what next. Because we're never done. We're always expanding. This stuff is it's never like, oh, you've just done it and now you've reached this amazing place. This is life stuff. This is for the whole of your life, right? So insights, allow them to come in. And then this one, the third message, which we definitely have had here before, is let go. But in this context, what we're talking about is letting go of all the ideas, the beliefs, the old bullshit around why you can't have that, you don't get to have that, how are you on earth are you going to create that, You can't see a way. You don't have that lovely linear plan. Letting go of all of that. And this is such a strong message right now. And they want to sort of chat. Yeah, I'm going to just channel on that right now for you. So, yeah, dear ones, the time has now come on your earth plane to very much step into a very different vibration. And this involves, yes, a trust, a letting go of all the preconceived ideas you had about yourself, letting go of all the ideas that you've gathered and collected over the years of your life from those who you've loved, from those who have loved you, from your community, from your neighbors, your friends, your families, your television screens, your radios, your music, your movies, your shows, all of these ideas. And now we want to show you that in your own library, these ideas have started to gather dust. They're old, they're dusty. And so, dear ones, you get to release them. You get to open the windows, open the curtains, clear out all the cobwebs, switch the lights on, and start to see things in a very new light. And we want you to know, dear ones, that you do get to create your reality. And we know that this has been spoken of much on the earth plane. And so some of you perhaps feel that it is one of those cliche type statements, perhaps, or it doesn't really apply to your life. And we want to remind you that it always applies to your life. Everything about your reality you create from your internal states. You start with a thought, a desire. You allow that to grow, as if you are sprinkling water on a plant and you allow it to blossom and bloom like into a flower. So giving yourself space to really be honest with yourselves, dear one. What is it that you truly desire? What lights you up? What gives you relief? What helps you feel expansive? What helps you breathe better? Your breath will show you the way. When you think of an idea, you will breathe with it. You will feel that relief, the excitement, or the constriction. And so you will know, you will know, you will know. Follow your soul's desires, follow what comes through your heart, follow anything that may even feel surprising. But really, when you give yourself space, you will realize that it is not really surprising at all. It is always there. It has always been a part of you. You are wanting more now. And now is the time that you get to expand and step into the reality of your choosing. Choose it. Take hold of it as if you were taking hold of it with both hands. Pluck it. This showing me like literally take it and pull it into you. Pull it into your heart. Claim it. Know that it is yours. Know that it is for you. You do not even need to know the steps, because these will be revealed to you as you move towards it. But your job, really, so to speak, is to simply decide and give yourself the permission to do so. Because on the other side are colors and rainbows and beauty and abundance, and things that you have been taught are mythical. They are very real. You get to live a colorful life, one filled with love and wonderment and magic. And this is why so many of you came, to help create this. And you get to create this from your own shoes, through your own individual lives, because you are all connected. And so when each of you, through your own expression, creates what pleases you, what brings you joy, what elevates you, you in turn are uplifting the entire collective. This is how powerful you are, and we want you to know that there is nothing insignificant about you. And so follow your desires. Okay, good. All right, let me know how that felt. Yeah, I love that message. Okay. Yes, I have nothing else to say. I'll just let that settle for a second. Nice. Okay. Yeah, just have a little drink. It's really true, because depending on what you've connected with. You might be new to this, you've been around this for a little bit, or you might have lived this for a long time, but it's always worth reminding ourselves, right, that this isn't made up. We're not making this up. This whole thing around energy, vibration, frequency, this whole thing about creating it in our minds and our hearts first, the whole thing about setting intentions and calling it in and creating it, right, is real. It's real. It's real. And even though sometimes you might not have a whole load of friends around you who get it, this is okay. This is why we have these types of spaces, right? So what is it that you want? What is it that you really want? And go big. You don't have to let yourself shrink down. What if you got the thing and you brought the thing in that you now want to create? What would your life look like then? What's on the other side of that? How would you feel? So maybe tap into some of that and really allow yourself, like what I'm seeing is like lift off, like you're spreading your wings and we're just having lift off right now in this session, right now in this space. There's nothing more important than this. Okay. And then the last two messages that I pulled, just to kind of round it up, they've sort of touched on it, but the first one is, inner temple. Your inner temple is tuning into the portal of your heart. And this is really speaking to what is in your heart. What is in your heart? Not your head. What is your heart telling you? Because that's a real thing as well. That's a real thing. What speaks to your heart? What is it that you're wanting in your life? Like for me, I think this is where my book comes in. I just want to help anyone that tunes in to know that there are so many possibilities for them, that no matter what they've been through and have felt and experienced, that there is always, always a way through. And transformation is available to every single one of us. That fills my heart with so much joy. And, it's like, well, what do I do with that? My head would go, but how do you make that into a living? How do you put that into a structure? Well, I don't. I've just followed my heart on it. And one thing has led to another, And there have been practical steps all along that journey. So I'm not saying we just sit and we close our eyes and we manifest and we just let it all happen, because we have to take action. But the action comes from the heart space, what we actually tune into, what we really, really desire. That's the bit really to connect in with, because once you have that and you connect into your heart and you connect into what do you really honest to God feel, the action kind of takes care of itself, because then you can say, okay, well, what's one small thing that I can do today or tomorrow to start getting this ball rolling, and then you just keep on taking action, you keep on moving and growing with that. So then the last card then, to kind of just pull it all together, is Star Family. And this is a reminder that you are part of a team of souls. And again, the theme we've spoken about a lot is calling in support. So we have our angels and Arcturians around now in this session with us, but you also have your own guides and they're all connected. And so we're just going to call them in. And you can do this, just call them in with your intention. Just ask for your guides, your ancestors, your family of light, whatever you relate to. Even if you don't know who it is, just call in your divine team of support and start asking for support and help. Really start asking, because sometimes I do that. Like obviously I channel, but I always, I just sit and I go, right, what help, please? I need some guidance here. Like, I don't know how to do this. I'm a bit lost. If I feel a certain way, sometimes it's like, well, what do I need right now? And even if you don't, it's not to say you have to channel directly the way I'm doing it, but we are all channelers. We all receive information in different ways. It might be you see signs, you might hear a song on the radio and it's like, oh yeah, got it. The lyrics are telling you something. Or you might see a little message or a bird or a butterfly or something that means something to you, or an angel number, or you'll just come across the right video at the right time. You'll come across the quote or someone's post or whatever. But ask for support, ask for guidance. And actually, You can even say, I would like ... How can I bring this in? How can I start moving into the direction of this? And start to listen. Most of the time, we don't listen enough. So it's like going back into that, creating space, right? We don't listen enough to kind of receive the insights. But if you actually just allow yourself to do that, you can really take the pressure off your shoulders, and just allow yourself. So I'll just see. Yeah, it kind of feels like it's a different type of session today. Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, I think we're complete on that. Okay, practical. Yeah, so we want to challenge you in a lovely way is to get super practical. So pulling it all in, and you can go away and kind of think about these aspects and create space and allow yourself to connect. But bringing to mind now, right here, right now, the thing that you're wanting to create, the thing that you're wanting to bring your dreams and desires into your reality, whatever it is that you're focusing on. What is one, let's get super simple, practical here. What is one step? Could be more, but let's just start with one. What's one step that you can take to move you in the direction of what you want to bring into your reality now? So feel free to comment below. Feel free to comment below later if you're watching the replay. But what's one step? So let me see. I'll let me think what I will do then. So if I'm writing, I'm gonna challenge myself, like really, I'm gonna intend to get this book completed, if not almost completed, by the end of this month, depending on how big it becomes. I'll just see what my step is then. Okay, I feel as though I've been asking for help a lot more recently than I have previously, because I've been trying to follow the guidance given to me about asking more often for their help. Good. I love that. I love that. Good. Because here's another thing, you cannot ask them too much. So when I first started channeling, I asked, and then I had more questions later, and then I felt a little bit bad because I was like, oh, I've asked them like 3 times today. I'll leave it for tomorrow. And then they came in and reminded me, and they said, there is no limit to the help that you get to ask for. You can ask us multiple times, anytime you want. And they reminded me how that they do not operate the way that the human minds operate, where if we've called our friend, we're not going to call them like another 5 times in the day, right, to ask them some advice. Probably not, or we might have some boundary issues there. But with your divine support teams, there are no limits, because they're always with you, and so they are there to guide and support you. So this is why I love that. I'm glad that you've been asking them for help, but and are actually following, and they've guided you, right, to say ask us more often. And that always comes in when I do channeling sessions with anyone. It always comes in, right? It's like, ask us for help. We're right here. So you're not creating your reality on your own. You are absolutely in the driver's seat. All of us are, but we don't have to kind of do it with a, oh my God, it's all on me. I have to navigate this earth and everything in it, and it's all on my shoulders. You make your choices, but you can absolutely ask. Just ask. Just throw your hands up and go, I need some help, please. And then let it go. And don't tell them how you need help. Just say, I need some help. Sometimes what I do, and I've done this before I was even channeling the way that I channel now, I would just go to bed feeling deflated or like stuck on something or frustrated on something. And I would just say, please, can I have some help? I don't like how I'm feeling. I just want some clarity. And please, can I just wake up tomorrow? And sometimes I would just ask for like some clarity on something, or I would just ask for some strength, or I would ask for patience, or something that I knew I was like lacking. And I would just say, please, can I have more strength? Can you give me some strength? Can you give me some clarity? And every time I did that, I'd wake up and I would just feel it. I would go, yeah, I feel really more clear today. So they can assist in all different ways. They really can. So I would love to hear, feel free to comment below or comment later. What are you setting your intentions for today? What are you bringing in? Just think about the next 30 days. Yeah, what would mine be then? So maybe what I'll do, put my money where my mouth is. So if I'm walking my talk, maybe what I'm gonna set it, my intention right now, to come back into this group at the end of the month. Well, that would be that would keep me on track. I know. I'll come in on the end of the last day of March with an update on, I'm putting it in my calendar now, book update in my Facebook group. So I will let you know, and I will tell you where I am with it. Whatever's going on, whether I've done it, whether I haven't done it, whether I've procrastinated or not, hopefully I haven't. I intend to absolutely do it. So that will be my kind of action step to help keep me a little bit on track with that, because I don't really want to come here on the end of the month and say, yeah, I've not done it. So that's my little challenge to myself. Okay, so I need to gain clarity in my life, and I feel one way to do so is to declutter my environment so that it feels better in here. Beautiful. That's what I plan on working on during the next 30 days. Lovely. I want clarity in all areas of my life and intend to start with my personal space and continue where I'm guided after. Oh, I love that for you. I love that. And it's so related, isn't it? When we want clarity in our minds and our hearts, to have clarity and space in our physical environment can be so powerful. So creating, just a space for yourself. And what you're doing is you're meeting your desires. You're saying, I want more clarity and space. So what you're doing is you're going to do your bit, right? You're going to be like on the ground here doing some of that. And then what will happen is energetically you will receive more clarity, more space. And then I bet your ideas will start coming in a way that they never have. So that is amazing. And just do one bit at a time. One bit at a time. You can be really gentle with yourself. Like I've just set myself this sort of date, the end of March, because I really need a rocket up my arse on that. And I recognize it. This isn't me being like all achievery about it, because I've been sitting on this for a long time, and I'm now starting to get really, it's very uncomfortable feeling now not to have written my book, right? It's different to say, my head is saying you need to have a deadline and get your book out and tell everyone. No, it's coming from a very like a soul-fueled place where it starts to now, it's uncomfortable living this life where I haven't written my book, right? It's that level. So that's why for me, this kind of one works well. And I need a little bit of like a nice, healthy pressure. That's just me. I don't like the pressure I used to live in, but I like a little healthy pressure just to kind of keep my kind of energy flowing. It's like, oh, I'm going to do it. So that excites me. But for you tuning in, you might have a different way. You might feel like little pieces are good, or gentle, actually taking your foot off the pedal is good, putting the brakes on a little bit. Or you might feel like you actually, like me, need a bit of a structure, like, no, I need to get this done or started. So let me know how that goes, and we'll talk. Need to not feel so bogged down by everything, because this space is not a comforting, welcoming space at the moment. I'm going to work on changing that so that I am comfortable in my own space daily. And that is so powerful, because if you're comfortable in your own space, that will literally create space. That's your message directly for you, right? But once you have space in your life, my goodness, that's where again all the insights come. So what an exciting time. So I love that you're declaring this today on this new moon, because only good things will flow from that. I love that. I'm so happy and proud of you for making that decision as well. This is going to be very very interesting time. So I think that's everything today. It felt slightly different, more of a conversation as well. And I hope that you received whatever you needed to receive. I think I'll do some sort of direct channeling for maybe individuals in the group another time. It just felt like that was enough for today. Just felt like sort of the message with the cards, and of course I was channeling anyway, but we'll do some sort of individual channeling another time maybe. But yes, thank you for joining me. Thank you very much. Let me know what you're creating. Let's keep the conversation going as well. So if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to come and join the Awake Revolution Soul Team in Facebook. Of course, if you're already here, continue to be here. Thank you for being here. Yes, and that's it. I think that's it for this evening. So you're very welcome. You're very welcome. So I send you all so much love. Remember that you really are the creators of your reality, and you can shift your life like you never believe it. So permission first, right? Very welcome, all of you. Yep. Love to you all. Just remember, yeah, you really do. You're so powerful, and we forget. But everything inside of you, I like this image because to me, this is how I see, I imagine this is us. Each person is just filled with light. This is you, and you've got all these layers to you. You have this energy, you have this light, you're beaming it out into the world. You've got creator abilities in within you. You are much more than your physical body. You are energy. You are a soul. You are an accumulation of all your previous lifetimes. You have a higher self, the higher consciousness of you that has already walked the path, that has already created what you're desiring. And the reason you're desiring it is because your higher self has already experienced it and is sending you the signals that you're literally catching, going, oh, I'd like to do that. So when you go into doubt or disbelief and you think, oh, maybe it's not for me, that's crazy, because your higher self has literally handed it to you. Your soul has handed it to you. So of course it's not crazy. Of course you get to do and be and have and create the thing, or be that person, or have that life. It's kind of crazy not to believe it. That's how I feel for each and every one of you, but that's how it works. We've got it so twisted, right, in the world, because this is why we've been taught bullshit. Okay, so I send you so much love. Remember who you are, and we will talk soon. Okay, bye for now.